Hey, how's it going? Hope you're having a wonderful day. We've got some more updates on RLCS roster stuff. As always, if you guys are trying to stay up to date on these, easiest way to do it is check out on the description down below the link to this document where we try to update everything with free agencies and all that kind of stuff as things continue, or stop by the stream. You guys know how to do it. But with that in mind, we're going to jump straight into it. We're going to go region by region just because it makes it easier to follow along. And the first one, which was originally a rumor, is more so confirmed now. While it's not RLCS, technically Twisted Minds has been experimenting with a different roster, and we saw that they were scrimming together, as I've mentioned previously, but this is no longer a, hey, we're scrimming together. They're actually competing each other. If you guys don't know Twisted Minds, who is honestly probably one of the most successful esports organizations nowadays, I think they field like 31 rosters in esports. Kind of crazy. It's Mesho is the new one with Mawson as well. They took second place most recently, which is what this tweet is showing, in the third major of Saudi E-League. So the guys trying to put up a fight against Falcons and secure themselves as the dedicated number 2 team, which seems to be the case. Team Anything no longer being a thing makes it relatively easy. So for kind of moving forward and looking at the MENA region, expected to be Falcons and Twisted Minds. The other one I would probably pay attention to, as we talked to you guys in the past, is GK Esports. My assumption is Nick, former Dignitas, former M80, is going to try to build a super team there. Some new up-and-coming talent, probably taking some of the kids from Team Rock and then build them into with a veteran talent, whoever that may be. We've got Rise now available. We've got apparently Jack. We've got, again, if the money is right, you may see some import talent, but I assume they want to pair a veteran alongside of it. That's what I would have to do. Alongside that, this one kind of big sad, just because we love the organization, what they're doing. Still a rumor at the current moment, not officially confirmed, so keep that in mind. Anything that's coming from Achilles, not officially confirmed, although his track record has been pretty dang good. Saying that OG Esports, one of the fan favorites with Com, Nolly, and JNaps, all the players are looking to disband and go their separate ways, and OG looking to exit the scene as well, which is really, really unfortunate. I think some of the realities is when these organizations come in, they see what the potential of Rocket League is. They see how exciting it can be. They see the success of the esport. But then they find out some of the realities of like rev share options, how much money they can actually make. Maybe the decals didn't sell as well. Maybe some of the conversations that they were having with Epic didn't align with what they wanted for the future. And unfortunately, as OG, one of the more respected organizations and one I've had the privilege to interact with, they really care about their players. They do it right. They take care of the guys. They like even put out itineraries to the parents that attend. Like they do a lot of the little things really, really good, and their merch is dope. I'm a big fan of OG Esports, but unfortunate to see them likely exit the scene and not come back in 2025. Again, at the end of the day, it is business, and if they cannot justify the cost and the means, they're gonna get out. Now, the other side of that, okay, so OG leaving, if that's the case, maybe they find a partnership or they find a sponsor and they come back in. Who knows? The other side of it is Nollycom, JNaps, and Torment, don't forget their coach, are all going to be free agents. They're not going to have an organization, and the expectation is that all 3 players are going their separate ways, which then puts in some pretty big talent into the talent pool, not only for North American teams, as you see like LJ and First Killer trying to rebuild. Who knows what's going to happen with Space Station if LJ leaves there. Okay, now Space Station needs a new third. Maybe one of these players will fulfill. Torment as a free agent coach. Is he going to land somewhere? Again, it's a domino effect. And we talked about that. Anytime you see one player change, the rest kind of fall, especially when it is people of this caliber of talent. A lot of people criminally underrate Com. I think Com is a massive pickup for a lot of these teams and could be one of those free agents that turns some heads. The other side of it too, JNaps, still one of the most consistent players, still continues to be that guy. He could be, in my opinion, a really good viable option alongside FK and LJ. Might be that veteran present, that stable mindset, that consistent presence that they need. You just never know. So maybe you see some of these guys go and pair with some new upcoming talent. Maybe Snowman makes a little bit of a change. What is NRG going to do? Do we finally, for the first time in what has been 11 seasons of RLCS, get to watch Garrett G and JNaps play together? As a fan, I've been selfishly wanting that since like season 4. So maybe some of these things happen finally, and we see that ascendancy for NRG again. We do not know. Tryouts are going to happen. Some chaos is going to happen behind the scenes. You've got upcoming players like Talk and everybody else that are going to get Again, there is a lot of moving parts when an entire team decides to go separate ways, and it opens up the door for teams like Shopify, Dignitas, TSM, so on and so forth. I could very much so see Hockey and Wavy pulling one of these guys as the third, bringing in Torment as a coach, and then they go and make a run for it. One of these players, I'm sure, would be extremely happy to go to TSM and get the bread and do what they got to do. So again, as soon as one of these changes, there's a lot of moving parts. That's 3 more players. That's 3 different rosters. That's 3 different iterations. And then the domino effect that comes after that as well. It's going to be chaotic, and it's going to continue to be. Arsenal deciding to go the best route and tweet himself. This is direct from the source Arsenal, saying that Arsenal is going to be LFT. Sources, trust me, bro. He's saying that Dignitas is allowing him to go and explore. Arsenal's situation just continues to provide. Dignitas is rebuilding. We know that there's intentions to rebuild around Stizzy. Whether he goes elsewhere or sticks with, it just depends on what becomes a viable option. Many people would like to assume that Evo and others are going to be something that builds into a credible talent. Maybe Evo goes and joins the TSM or something else. I've heard on good authority that Shopify has full intentions of wanting to stick. Whether that'll happen or not, if other options become available, we just don't know. Up next, NRG has officially confirmed that Garrett G is the only one remaining on the roster alongside Fireburner. They have officially released Aqua. If you guys don't remember NRG was just constantly trying to find a player. They went with Frosty. Frosty then left like a month after he was signed, and they already signed promo and videos and stuff like that due to whatever reason. We can assume some things, but I'm not going to put words in anybody's mouth. After that, we then saw them try Toasty, Andrees, and Aqua, and they just basically were constantly shifting through a player without any real chance to grow and develop, and the results out there. They've also tried Kofor in the offseason. They're just throwing stuff at a wall and hoping something sticks. But in my opinion, you can't just hope that organically things are going to work when the core issue, in my opinion, has been Garrett G. And as much as I like Garrett G, I think he's a competitor, unless you pair him with 2 really talented superstar players. And everybody's calling Kofor a rookie. He's not. He's been playing for well over 2 years now. He started in 2022. The difference, though, is Kofor, yes, is starting to get attention because from his own words, I'm pretty sure he started to take it a bit more seriously. Maybe rookie for like top 16 RLCS, but what Energy is going to do, I think, is a problem. I look at Energy, and the one thing that they have is money. They have the ability to entice people with a very high salary, and that in itself is very enticing for people to go and want and play there. But let's be perfectly clear. When is the last time Energy was a real threat in the RLCS? It's been a while. To my knowledge, the last time Energy was really competitive was when they took second place to BDS back in 2021-22 in Stockholm. Other than that, they made a LAN. It didn't go that great. And that was the last time we saw Justin, Squishy, and Garrett compete at LAN. It's been a really, really long time since LA. So, unfortunate as it is, something's got to change for Energy. And if they keep rebuilding around Garrett, I don't know how well that's going to go. And I say that as someone who absolutely adores Garrett. I think Garrett is one of the greatest to ever play this game. And he's consistent and he works hard. But after a certain point, these new, young, mechanically cracked players, just, it's the passing of the torch. And whether Garrett decides, hey, I'm going to pair that with 2 or what Energy is going to do, I don't know. But I think the harsh reality is they've got to get stopped with the old boys club. They've got to stop hiring old players that they're friends with. Mist is gone. Aqua's now gone. You can't bring in Toasty. You can't bring in these guys that have been playing on teams that are ranked at best, usually top 12. You got to pick new upcoming talent and give them a chance to grow and develop. It's going to be tough. I don't know what Energy's plan is moving forward, but what is true is they only have Garrett, they only have Fireburner, and they've got to figure something out. Because while, yes, Energy makes a lot of money off of content, I'm sure they would like to go back to being that top dog in NA. We're going over to EU. We talked a lot about, in our last video, the top 3 of EU has been absolute chaos. We've got some more updates on things. Obviously, we've discussed Vitality, BDS, and K-Corp, all likely to make changes. Here's some more information about where things are headed. I've already provided in the document down below my own opinions on what I think and how things are going to end up. But this is going to be a bit of a roller coaster as we go through this. So first things first, things to mention. BDS just won the World Championships. Likely disbanding. Likely rebuilding around Monkey Moon. All chaos yet again. I will say the only team we haven't mentioned is Gentlemates. Nobody knows what Gentlemates is up to. So BDS likely to rebuild around Monkey Moon. What is going to become available? We don't know. With Dralii and Exotic no longer likely to be very sought after free agents. As for K-Corp, K-Corp announces, and this is officially confirmed, K-Corp has said, hey, we have re-signed and have prolonged the agreement for only Vatira and only a Tau, which means that Rise likely on his way out, to which we get further confirmation shortly after that Rise does confirm, hey, it's an honor to play for the team. I'm going to be going elsewhere. So do you see Monkey Moon and Rise team up? Do you see Rise go somewhere else like Vitality? Do you start to see that domino effect I was just mentioning? But Rise has confirmed, I'm no longer with K-Corp. I'm going to be looking for a new home. Okay. After that goes down, Achilles ends up saying, you know what? Maybe things aren't so clear cut. Maybe we don't actually know what the heck is going on. Maybe some things are going to be all up in arms. To which I say, you know what? Let's go back to this original roster document and let's try to fill in the pieces. My assumption, if you guys can see this, is I think it is extremely likely, and Achilles has mentioned this as well, Tau, Vatira, and Dralii is probably going to be the roster for K-Corp. If I was a betting person, which I am, my assumption is that Tau, Vatira, and Dralii are likely to be the team for K-Corp moving forward. It has been rumored, based upon what Achilles is saying, both Dralii and Exotic's contract will expire in the offseason, so they will be free agents. There will be no buyout. They don't have to worry about dealing with the legal financial burden that is buying out a contract. And if Dralii and Exotic are free agents, they're going to be very heavily sought after. So it's very likely that Tau, Vatira, and Dralii, which I think Dralii is one of the best rookies of last year. I think he was probably rookie of the season, in my opinion. He won a world championship and constantly looked like he was going to be impactful. That team, again, K-Corp continues to be like, no excuses, no reason to lose. That is a dominant team. If I am on the other side of that team, I go, hey guys, this one's gonna be rough. On the other side of that, when we start talking about Vitality, for those that don't know, Zen and Exotic are buddies. They do get along very, very well. My assumption is that Vitality is going to rebuild around Zen with Exotic as their second. Who their third will be, we'll have to wait and see. Will it be Rise? Will it be Redocin? Will it be... I don't specifically know. If I had to guess, I wouldn't be surprised if they keep 2/3, because Redocin plays a pretty big impact for that roster. He also opens up the field and does some really good creative things for that team. But what does that mean for Alpha? I do not know that as well. I don't know if they're going to have to reform. I don't know if they're going to have to find something else. A lot of people have been saying that Alpha's kind of been on the downtrend, which is unfortunate because I really like Alpha, not only as a person, but as a player. But is he keeping up with the pace with these new talented kids coming in? The Eugens, the Draliis, the Nas, all these really young talented players. As for BDS, what does that mean? Maybe you see a BDS where it's Monkey Moon, Alpha, Rise, or something to that extent. And the one thing that, again, is still removed from all this, no news on Gentlemates. We don't know what's happening with Juicy. We don't know what's happening with Itachi. We don't know what's happening with Seiko. If those three start making moves as well, then we're going to see a big shift, a new refinement. But the reality is, and the conversation continues to stay, you can't do what Vitality did. You can't go and after a year of competition, try to stay the same and continue the run. I think the difficulty is staying on top is not an easy thing with how talented all of these players are. And as teams continually adjust and make movements and everything else, I mean, staying on top with the exact same is just maybe a thing that doesn't happen in Rocket League. As much as you want to build long-term standing rosters, it's difficult. I mean, you're seeing it from chat, and I agree. Monkey Moon Juicy, I think, would be a phenomenal pairing. Who you put with that, who knows? I can tell you guys that I heard rumors of Monkey Moon potentially going to Vitality, but if BDS is going to stick with him, and as they should, considering he is my GOAT, makes sense. But he finds a way into that grand final. He always manages to find a grand final, no matter what roster he's surrounded with, even if it takes a little bit of time. It's going to be a wild one. Everybody buckle up. As I mentioned, the first domino has been pushed over. We have confirmations of Rise no longer being. We have talks of Monkey Moon, BDS, and the rebuild, Zen, and the rebuild. We've got contract extensions. Those are things that we do know, but where people are going to go, where people are going to end up is going to come down to some crazy offseason stuff. My biggest recommendation, if you guys are not doing so already, watch Flip and Spin. Flip and Spin is a French tournament. They have 3 teams invited in Vitality, BDS, and K Corp. What they're going to look like when it comes to the playoffs is when we will have to pay attention, because as you guys know, the team I am coaching is currently in the closed qualifiers trying to make a run for it. As always, if you enjoy the content, it's always appreciated. Make sure you guys hit like, subscribe, notifications. Let me know in the comments down below. What kind of super teams are you guys building for Europe? That's what I want to hear. Who do you think players are going to go to North America? Come over to the stream. Come chat with us. It's always fun theory crafting on what these could be. I'm sure we'll try to build some of our own in the upcoming videos, but that's going to do it for me. As always, catch you in the next video and appreciate you tuning in.